Students, welcome to the second part of Introduction to Tense. So dear students, in our previous video we had got an introduction to present tense, its forms, uses, and we had also seen a few examples of the same. In today's video we are going to learn the 4 past tense forms, that is simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. Not only that, we would also go through a few examples and also the various sentence structures which are related to past tense. Okay, with the various past tense forms of verbs. Okay, so without much delay, let us go through past tense, its forms and uses. So the first category of past tense form of verb is simple past tense, which is also called past indefinite. Yes, just like we had present indefinite, we have past indefinite. Now, this form of verb, it is generally used to describe an action which had happened in a fixed point of time in the past. Okay, that means the time it is in the past, it's already over, the action is over, and in order to describe such an action which is already over by the time we are speaking, in order to express such actions we use simple past tense or past indefinite form. The second point that we have to remember is that while using simple past tense, we always used the second form of the verb, that means the past form of the verb, or V2. Yes, V2 means it is the second form, it is not the base form. Base form is the present form of the verb. This second form of the verb is the past form. Okay, past form of the verb. I suppose all of you know the various verb forms, that is the base form, the past form, the past participle form and the gerund form. These are the 4 different verb forms which would be very regularly, frequently used with the sentence structures, okay, depending on the tense. Now, yes, in the second past tense, or rather the simple past tense, we use the second form of the verb, or V2, and the sentence structure, as you can see, that's given below. It is subject plus second form of the verb, or V2, plus object. So this is the sentence structure that we have to follow. Yeah, the past form of the verb has to be used along with the subject and this is the general sentence structure, or the most common sentence structure. Now let us understand past tense form by going through a few examples. The first example, as you can see, a small boy, his name is Harry, and Harry he made a paper boat. That was yesterday. Now this time, this word yesterday is suggesting a specific point of time in the past. That means the previous day. Yes, it's not today, or it's not in the future, tomorrow. The word yesterday suggests a time that is already over, the previous day. So here we have made use of past form of the verb, or the second form of the verb, make. Yes, we don't write Harry make a paper boat yesterday, rather we write Harry made a paper boat yesterday. Okay, Harry made a paper boat. Made is the second form of the verb. Yes, see the second picture. There is a group of children, group of young teenage boys and girls, and it's the school team that visited London last year. Okay, so the sentence is like this, that our school team visited London last year. Now last year, it is the time expression and it shows that it is a bygone time. It is a time in the past. So this action of visiting, that is already complete in the past. Yes, and that's why we use the second form of the verb visit in order to describe this situation. Our school team visited London last year. Visited is the second form of the verb or the past form of the verb visit. Then we get the third picture, that is, it depicts or it shows India's independence in 1947. So 1947, it's a time in history, it's a past time, and here, in order to describe this situation, we write India got freedom in the year 1947. So a marked point of time, a specific point of time in the past, that is the year 1947. This is a past time, and during that past time, India completed something, an action got completed. What is the action? India got freedom. Okay, India got freedom. Get is the base form of the verb and got is the second form or the past form of the verb. So in this sentence also we are using past tense. I suppose your idea is clear regarding past tense or past indefinite form. Let us now move to the second form of past tense, that is past perfect tense form of the verb. Now where are or what are the places or in what situations do we use a past perfect tense? Let us see. First of all, we use past perfect tense in order to describe an action or happening that had finished, okay, that had been completed before another past action. That means what? There are two actions, both of these have been completed, both of these actions are over, but one of the actions took place before the other action. Okay, one of the action finished earlier than the next action, which is also a past action. So in such cases, in order to represent or in order to speak about the previously finished action, we use past perfect tense. Then where else? We use past perfect tense in finished actions, those actions that started and finished before a definite point of time in the past. Okay, there is a specific point of time, but this action started before that period and also got completed during that or before that particular point of fixed point of time in the past. So in that case also we use past perfect tense. Then past perfect tense is also used when we describe the cause and effect of an action. Okay, so what is the cause? Okay, which cause had actually provided or facilitated a particular kind of effect or contributed towards an effect. So cause and effect, those are also explained, those are also described using past perfect tense of the verb. Then emphasizing the result of past activity, there also we use past perfect tense. And most importantly, past perfect tense is used with if clause. Okay, if clause of the third conditional. Okay, improbable situations. Okay, improbable, something which could have happened but did not happen. In that case we use what? Past perfect tense form of the verb. Okay, there should be an if clause, not immediately after if, but with the if clause we use the the if clause that supports a third conditional statement. Then we use past perfect tense. The examples are provided later. You can just go through the examples next and see for yourself. How to identify whether we are using past perfect tense or not? So it can be identified when we find expressions, time expressions like already, yet, for, just, after, before, until, and so and so. Okay, these are some of the examples of time expressions which are used along with past perfect tense form of the verb. And what is the sentence structure that is being followed? This is the sentence structure. I suppose you remember when the verb form was, or the tense form was present perfect tense, the sentence structure was subject plus have plus have, have or has, plus third form of the verb plus object. Now this is replaced with subject plus had. Okay, past form of have or has is had, plus past participle form of verb, that is the main verb, its past participle form has to be used, not the past form or the base form, but the third form of the verb, that is the past participle form of the main verb, that has to be used, plus the object. For example, there are a lot of examples which have been provided. First example, you see, the train had left before he reached the station. This man reached the station. This action is completed. There are two actions here. One is the man reaching the station, the other the train leaving. The train leaving the station. Okay, now both these actions are completed in the past only, but one of the actions was completed earlier or prior to the other action. So which is the action that is being completed earlier? The leaving of the train from the station. So in order to express that the train had left, or the action of the leaving of the train is completed by the time the man reaches the station, in order to show that, we use past perfect tense in this regard. Okay, so we write that the train had left before he reached the station. Before the completion of the man's reaching the station, the train had left. Okay, this is the previous action. Here we are using that. Secondly, you see the second example, the meeting had already started. See the use of the time expression, already. The meeting had already started before he reached the office. He reached the office, alright. This is also a second action. Okay, the second action is that the man, or he, the subject, he reached the station, but prior to that, another action already happened. That means the meeting already started before this man reached the office. Okay, so meeting had already started before he reached office. Next, you see, this is the if clause and the third conditional. If you had come earlier, you could have joined us for tea. See, you did not come home earlier. That means what? The sentence means that you did not come home earlier, and that's why you could not join us for tea. But if you had come, this is an improbable situation, it is not possible now, but if you had come earlier, you could have joined us for tea. It could have been possible only if you had come earlier, but you did not. So this is the third conditional of an if clause, where we are using past perfect tense. Okay, so past perfect tense. The last one, Susan caught a flu as she had drenched herself in the rain. I was talking about cause and effect. Something is caused, some effect is being seen due to a particular cause. Here, what is the effect? Susan caught a flu. This is the effect. And what is the cause or the reason? The reason is that she had drenched herself in the rain. So this cause had happened earlier, which is why the result or the effect was that Susan caught a flu. Okay, so in order to explain the cause of this effect, we are using past perfect tense. Susan caught a flu as she had drenched herself in the rain. I suppose you were clear with the idea, like where we can use or how we can use past perfect tense form of the verb. Now, without much delay, let us move on to the third past tense form, that is past continuous tense. Where can we use past continuous tense? We can use past continuous tense in order to describe an action that started and continued for a long duration in the past, in order to show that a particular action it was continuing for a long period of time. Okay, it had started in the past and it continued for a long period of time. In order to suggest this kind of an expression, we use past continuous tense. Secondly, in order to show an overlapping action happening continuously in the past when another action interrupted it. Okay, that means something was going on, a particular action was going on, when suddenly another action happened and stopped this first action, or maybe interfered between the action in the midst of the happening. Yeah. Thirdly, it is used, past continuous tense, it is used to describe story background, especially in narratives, different kind of novels or stories or fiction. We use to describe story background, the background setting, a thing happening while something else is happening. Okay, so in such conditions we use past continuous tense form of the verb. And we can easily identify past continuous tense when we find the time expressions like, for example, when, while, constantly, in those days, all morning. Okay, so these are some of all day, all morning, or all night, throughout the week. So these are some of the expressions which are time expression, which by reading or while finding these time expressions in our sentences, we can identify that the verb that has been used, the verb form, it is past continuous tense. And let us come to the sentence structure now. What is the sentence structure? The sentence structure would be, while we use past continuous tense form of the verb, the structure is something like this: subject plus was or were plus the fourth form of the verb, that means verb plus ing, that is, it is also called what? It is also called present participle, or it is called the gerund. Yes, plus the object. So this is the sentence structure. If the subject is singular, then it would be was. If the subject is plural, then it will be were. All right. So this is what is about the sentence structure as far as past continuous tense is concerned. Now coming to the examples. What are the examples? Let us see. The first example: last night I was playing the song till I fell asleep. So I was doing something when something else happened. So last night. So last night itself, the time expression, it suggests that it is in the past. And last night something was happening. What was happening? I was playing the song. I was doing something when I fell asleep. Okay, when something else happened. Secondly, the second example: mother was cooking lunch when my friends arrived. So one action was continuing when another action overlapped. At the same time, something else also happened together. So this action is again interrupting the previous action, that is my mother's cooking of the lunch. My mother was doing something when my friends came. My mother was cooking lunch when my friends arrived. So past tense have been used here. Was and arrived, directly it suggests that the actions have taken place in the past. And cooking, ing form of the main verb, it suggests that it was continuing. This action was continuing in the past. Alright, and the last one, in narratives, this is an example of a narrative. How while describing the background of a narrative, we use past continuous tense. Night was falling and the forest grew dark. In the midst of the setting, when we describe, we don't say night fell and the forest grew dark. We write, in order to give it a more visual effect, we describe it such. Okay, night was falling, that means gradually the light was reducing, diminishing, and the forest grew dark. So in order to provide that visual effect, past continuous form is used while describing narratives, okay, in narrations. Now let us come to the last form of past tense, that is past perfect continuous tense. Now what are the situations in which past perfect continuous tense used? Firstly, it is used to describe actions that started and continued until another action or time in the past. Okay, an action that started and also continued, it had been going on, something had been going, the boys had been playing till this time, or maybe till something else happened, till it rained, or maybe till it grew dark. Okay, so two actions happening, but previously something had been happening, some action started and it was continuing for a long time until another action stopped it. Okay, and the second one is to describe the duration of an action that happened in the past, to show that a particular action, an activity, it had been going on for a long duration, for a very good amount of time in the past. Okay, so there we use past perfect continuous tense. And what is the structure of the sentence here? The structure is subject plus had plus been plus fourth form of the verb, that is verb plus ing, gerund plus object. Okay, so this is the structure. The subject can be anything. It can be singular or plural noun. It can be singular or plural pronoun, first person, second person, or third person. But had will be constant. Okay, this form of verb had, it would be constant, and the rest will be same. Yeah. So let us say see a few examples to make the idea more clear. The first example, Martha. She is walking. Okay, the picture of a girl, her name is Martha, and Martha had been walking till something else stopped her action. Like this, Martha had been walking 2 miles every day before she broke her leg. Now her leg broke, or she got injury in her leg, which ultimately stopped her everyday action. But till then she had been walking, she had been continuing to walk 2 miles every day before she actually broke her leg. Clear? Second example, it had been snowing heavy for several hours yesterday. So it had been, not today but yesterday. The news is that of yesterday. So yesterday, for a long period of time, showing the duration, that for a long period of time something had been happening. So what had been happening? It had been snowing. It had been snowing heavy for several hours, for a long hours, maybe 3-4 hours. It had been constantly snowing yesterday. So showing the duration here in the past. And the last one, she had been working hard till she got the right placement. Okay, so that means what? This girl, she had been doing something till something else happened. So till she got the target, that means till she got the right placement. Before that, she had been working really hard. Okay, she had been working hard, she had been continuing to do work till she got the right placement. Yes, so these are situations in which you can use past perfect continuous tense, right? Now Let us just go to check the table. Remember previously in the previous video I had shown you the table on present tense forms. So this table would show you the sentences using love as the verb here, how the verb keeps on changing and how the sentence structure changes along with the change in the tense form of the verb. So pronouns along with the numbers given, singular and plural numbers of the pronoun. The first person pronoun, that is I and we. I singular pronoun, we plural. You singular and plural, both would be similar here. The third person, then what are the third person? He, she, it singular. Okay, third person singular, he, she, it, and third person plural, that is they. So these are the pronouns with numbers. And then what are the tense forms? Simple past, past perfect, past continuous, and past perfect continuous. And the sentence is, the base sentence was I love ice cream. Yes, so when we make the I love ice cream simple past, the sentence would become I loved ice cream. Love would be replaced by the second form of the verb, that is loved. I loved ice cream. Similarly, we loved ice cream, you loved ice cream, he, she, it loved ice cream, they loved ice cream. So not much of a change, just a pronoun changing. Yeah, then let us come to past perfect tense. When we use past perfect tense, the sentence would become I had loved ice cream. I plus I is the subject plus had plus third form of the verb love, that is loved. Here loved is the third form. Okay, it is not the past form, it is the past participle form of love. So I plus had plus third form of love, that is loved, plus object, that is ice cream. Yeah, similarly we have the other sentences. We had loved ice cream, you had loved ice cream, he, she, it had loved ice cream, and they had loved ice cream. Coming to past continuous, I was loving ice cream. So the is, am and are of present continuous, that is being replaced with past form of the auxiliaries is, am and are. And what is the past form of the auxiliary? It is was, plus the ing form of the main verb, that is love plus ing, so loving. Got the point? So I plus past form of auxiliary, that is was, plus ing form of main verb, that is loving, plus object, that is ice cream. So I was loving ice cream, we were loving ice cream, because we is plural here, so we cannot use was here, we have to use were. We were loving ice cream, you were loving ice cream, he, she, it was. Again, he, she, it is singular, so it would be he, she, it was loving ice cream. And they, again, they is plural, so it is they were loving ice cream. And the last one is past perfect continuous. Here the previous sentence structure in present perfect continuous, that is I plus have plus been plus ing plus object, that is being changed to I plus past form of have or has. Okay, what is the past form of have or has? It is had. So I had been, ing form of the main verb, that is loving ice cream. Okay, I had been loving ice cream. Similarly we have we had been loving ice cream, you had been loving ice cream, he, she, it had been loving ice cream, and they had been loving ice cream. So this is how the entire sentence structure changes with the change in pronoun and number, and also the tense form of the verb. I suppose this much has been clear to you. So thank you very much for watching the entire video. Follow up with the exercise that is being provided. Thank you.